Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, "Saying is not a pogo stick." The original OP is Throwaway 8547, posted to r/relationship advice, posted April 10th, 2019. The main title of this best of is "My 21 female boyfriend 22 male tried to gaslight me into getting plastic surgery." The first post is titled, "I'm worried about my boyfriend's Instagram and I don't think he likes my chest." Hi, I'm sorry if this isn't the right thing to post here. I've never actually made a Reddit post before, but I made this account because today I read something that really resonated with me, and I thought it would be good to actually talk about something that's been bugging me for a while. Please bear with me. So, I've been with this guy for nearly 2 years now, and we were unofficially together for a while before that. He's smart, funny, attractive, and is probably the best thing to ever happen to me. We rarely argue, and this is definitely the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. I'm a very straightforward person, and I've always prided myself on my ability to speak my mind about things that I think are important, which is why I'm struggling so much here. Because I have no idea how to address the problem that I'm having, or whether it would even be appropriate for me to talk about it at all. While my relationship makes me very happy, I don't think my partner likes my chest, and it bothers me. Throughout our relationship, I've noticed that he'll be on Instagram a lot, which is normal and fine. But one day I realized that his likes would consist entirely of underwear models, e-girls, Twitch streamers that he's never watched, etc. And these photos would all focus on their chest area. I thought nothing of it at first, but one day I was on Instagram, I switched to the likes tab and saw that my boyfriend had just liked a bunch of photos that were basically just various close-ups of women with large breasts in bras/bikinis. It shouldn't bother me. I know it shouldn't. I feel silly writing this. But he never ever comments on my breasts. I have a very small chest size. I'm literally an A cup, and it's something I have always been teased about. My sister and friends particularly used to make comments about it, many of which have stuck with me. I'm an adult now, 21, so people don't make childish comments like those anymore, but I'm very much aware of how flat-chested I am compared to other women. My boyfriend's ex is quite busty, and so are all the women that he's attracted to, but I'm attracted to women as well, and I find all body types to be beautiful. I initially thought my boyfriend would be the same as me in that regard, but I don't know. He's lovely to me, but there's just certain occasions where I worry. I'll try wearing cute bras or dresses that sort of emphasize my chest a bit, and he won't be interested or even compliment me. That's really unlike him, as he usually is very complimentary, and he'll say nice things about every other part of me. The fact that he seems disinterested in my chest does play upon my insecurity about that area of my body, and I know it isn't his fault. I know if I were to ask him, he would reassure me and say he thinks I'm beautiful. I just don't know what to do. I hear him talking about girls with his friends sometimes. It makes me feel weird to know that he does that, especially when he also is happy to like inappropriate photos on Instagram, knowing full well that all our friends can see his activity. I can't tell what's really bothering me the most here, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's 1, him only using Instagram to look at other girls, 2, the fact that these girls all have bigger breasts than me, and I know he's not all that interested in my chest. 3, the fact that our mutual friends can see him liking these photos of women in lingerie while also knowing I can see it too. I think I would care a little less if these were just celebrities, but they're not. One of the reoccurring girls is someone he knows, and he went to her birthday party instead of mine this year. In his defense, we were in different cities, but I did invite him. But he didn't want to travel that day, as it would take an hour for him to get to me. I'd also like to clarify that I don't normally pay attention to what he does on social media. This was just something I noticed one day and began paying attention to. It has reached the point where I will scroll through the likes tab on Instagram now just to see if he's still doing it. And he does it multiple times a day. I don't like how paranoid I'm becoming about this, and I know it's unhealthy, which is why I'm writing this here. Should I address this with him? Is it even right for me to care? I also want to clarify that none of the photos are just selfies or anything like that. They are exclusively revealing/suggestive photos with breasts being the primary focus. I obviously don't think there's anything wrong with people posting this sort of content, so I apologize if I've come across that way. I'm just concerned about why my boyfriend is so fixated on these things when he will not comment on, touch, or even really look at my own chest. Sorry for the long read. Update, April 15th, 2019, 5 days later. I, 21 female, finally confronted my boyfriend, 22 male, and I don't know what to do now. Basically, I made a post a few days ago asking what to do because I was concerned about his Instagram to the point of it making me paranoid, and his disinterest in my boobs was making me insecure. Jump cut to today. I finally had the chance to do what you all were suggesting and simply talk to him about it. So, about 3/4 of an hour ago, I sat him down, and after a lot of me struggling to get my words out, I blurted something along the lines of, "Do you find my body attractive?" He looked confused and said, "Yeah," then asked why. So I told him that I know my bra size isn't exactly impressive and that I see his likes on Instagram. His reply was really strange and immediately made me suspicious. He said, "Is it just my likes that bother you?" without acknowledging the other things I said. So I asked, "What do you mean?" For about a minute or two, we were going in a circle, and it went something like this. "I was just checking it was only the likes." "What do you mean?" "I just wanted to make sure you were talking about the likes." "What else would I be talking about?" "Nothing." "Have you been leaving comments?" "No, why? Would that bother you?" "I guess it depends on what they were." "So it's just the likes then?" "What else is there?" "Nothing, just checking that you're only worried about the likes." Then the conversation went downhill from here. I tried to bring the conversation back to my initial point about how I was concerned that he didn't find me as attractive as them because of my bra size, and he just groaned really loudly and sighed. He said, and I'm writing this word for word because it stuck with me since he said it, "Look, you're beautiful, but I just prefer big tits." Like, okay, no shit. But how is someone meant to respond to that? I just sort of sat there and didn't know what to say, so he took my hands and just started talking about how he thinks I'm pretty and wonderful, etc. And he loves me, but he has a specific type, and that he can't really get turned on by flat chests. I might be an A-cup, but I'm not fucking flat. But that's not the issue. I'm just stunned that he said that. Anyway, I asked if he's ever been turned on by my breasts, and he said, "Not really." Then I asked if he's ever been turned on by the girls on Instagram, and he said, "Well, yeah." That stung, but was obvious. I asked him why he doesn't just watch porn, and he said he does, but he likes Instagram as well because it's more personal. Lamau, what the fuck? I asked if he had ever messaged them, and he said he messaged the one girl that he actually knows and whose birthday he went to instead of mine. He insisted it wasn't flirty or anything, and I believe him. I was very sad and quiet after a while, so he just started saying that he isn't going to stop looking at other girls because that would be like telling a kinky person that they can only have vanilla sex. Hey buddy, as someone whose circus needs a second big top, shut the fuck up. And he kept promising me that he still thinks I'm amazing, etc. But then, and still, while talking in his cute, sympathetic voice, he said, "If this is really getting to you, you could get a boob job." Just get a boob job. Just go get plastic surgery. Just spend loads of money that you don't have. Sure, it's just that simple. I think I stopped being sad at this point and started getting angry because I couldn't believe he said that. And I still can't. The most annoying part was that he was so chill about it. even after he clearly hurt me. He just sort of shrugged off my reaction and continued like, I just think it would help you feel better. I don't want surgery. I'm scared of hospitals and I have had surgery before and it went awful. He's fully aware of this. I've never wanted plastic surgery either, and I don't think I'd ever have the money for it. Though, I don't really know how much it costs. I just feel like shit though. I've always had insecurities about not having large breasts because it's something I was teased about and most people are bigger than me. But I've never felt the need to actively try and change it. As a whole, I do like my body, even if it's not perfect, you know? I don't want surgery, and I know he's not forcing me to get it, but the way he said it and continued to talk about it, I just feel like shit. Am I really that unattractive to him? I asked him to leave after a while because the conversation was upsetting me too much, and I just wanted to be on my own. He was really sweet and kissed my forehead as he left, and it's making me feel like I'm overreacting. He's literally the best boyfriend I could ask for, and he's always wonderful to me. I shouldn't be reacting like this to something so minor, and I know I'm being dramatic, but I just feel awful, and I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna get plastic surgery, but he literally isn't attracted to my body. Well, not my breasts. I don't want him to cheat on me. I doubt he ever would anyway. He's honestly amazing, but he does prefer other girls. That means he's gonna leave me one day unless I get better for him, but I don't know how. Maybe start having... darling, don't do that to yourself. Maybe start having threesomes with other girls? That could end so badly though, and I'm too anxious for that right now. I don't know what to do. This all happened today, so it's very fresh, and I just feel awful and helpless. Any advice would be appreciated, please. As someone who once lived that life, it always breaks my heart seeing someone willing to tear themselves down to their fundamentals and attempt to rebuild to something they're not, just to make someone who clearly doesn't care happy. Ugh. 4 days later, April 19th, 2019. Am I, 21 female, overthinking, or is this strange? My boyfriend is in the shower and left his phone behind, but it was charging. My phone was on 13%, so I decided to use the charger while my boyfriend wasn't using his phone. Anyway, his screen lit up when I removed the charger. His lock screen / background / whatever you call it is a picture of him holding another girl. The girl, let's call her Lucy, is a friend of his, so it shouldn't be strange, but this year he chose to go to her birthday party instead of mine, and he likes a lot of inappropriate pictures of her on Instagram. I don't really know much about my boyfriend's dynamic with Lucy, but I know they communicate regularly, but I've never been suspicious of anything between them. I've also never seen this photo before, but it seems very recent. I didn't unlock his phone because I feel like snooping would be a huge violation, but am I right for finding this a little odd? My phone background is always either a photo of him or a photo of the two of us, and he'll make comments if I change it. Only playful comments, but he will jokingly sulk about it unless my lock screen / background is him / us. I know his background has been a picture of me for a while, so I'm not sure when he changed it. Should I say something? I don't want him to think I'm angry. I'm not. I just find it a little strange, I suppose. I've always not been feeling very good about myself lately, so I know I could be overthinking right now. Sorry. April 20th, 2019, 1 day after the last post. Update. My 21 female, boyfriend 22 male of 2 years changed his phone background to another girl. I asked him about it, and he told me to get plastic surgery. Life really is an absolute fucking adventure. Thank you for all your messages. I'm on mobile, and I don't know how to link my previous post, but basically, I unplugged the charger from my boyfriend's phone while he was showering so that I could charge my phone. His screen lit up when I did this and revealed his lock screen was him holding a female friend, let's call her Lucy. He chose his friend's birthday over mine. I didn't blame him because he would have had needed to drive an hour to see me, and is frequently liking inappropriate pictures of her. So, here's the update. He came out of the shower and immediately made a beeline for his phone. When he noticed I had unplugged it, he immediately asked why. I responded honestly and said that I had wanted to charge my phone. I then decided to do what everyone suggested. I asked him about his background. I wasn't aggressive or anything. I literally just said, "So I noticed I'm not your background anymore," in a playful tone, just like how he talks to me when I change mine. He asked if that was a problem, and I said no. But I didn't want the conversation to end like that, so I asked him why he chose that photo. He didn't like this question. He didn't raise his voice. He just looked at me funny and asked what I meant. Then he asked me if I was jealous of the girl in the pic. I said no. I was just surprised because I didn't realize they were that close. He asked me if I went through his phone, and I said no. This whole time he was being so calm and nice, and he really didn't seem at all angry. He's always lovely to me, and he was being so good about this. He's always lovely to me. He really is, and I mean that. But his question about me going through his phone worried me a little, because why would he need to ask me that? But even though he remained super calm, he asked me again if I went through his phone, and he just kept asking. It was like, him, "Did you go through my phone?" Me, "No." Him, "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Do you promise?" "Yes, I promise." And then he said that it would be a deal breaker if he did ever find out that I had been snooping. I hadn't snooped and would never snoop. And I told him that. He just kissed me on the forehead and took his phone and basically just started messaging someone and watching stuff on his laptop. So the conversation was clearly over for him. This guy is making my blood boil. I didn't know what to say or do at this point. I was just feeling really guilty, but I was also concerned that he thought I wasn't trustworthy, and I felt bad for bringing up the photo. I was really quiet, but just watched YouTube with him for a bit. Usually he gets pretty handsy with me when we watch stuff together, and he did this time too, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I declined his advances. He kept trying, and was playfully saying things like, "Don't be so sulky." And when I said I wasn't sulking, and that I just wasn't in the mood, he said, "This is because of Lucy, isn't it?" He still had the playful voice, but it really surprised me, and I felt embarrassed and guilty and annoyed. I don't remember what I said, but I think I denied it being due to her. He stopped touching me and sighed, then told me that he thought I was being too jealous and insecure lately, and that I was projecting all my feelings onto Lucy. He didn't shout or anything, and he seemed more disappointed/concerned than mad, but it was just so much. And I'm still really confused by it. I've never been a jealous person, but it's true that I can be insecure sometimes. I don't feel good about my breast size, and I don't feel good enough for my boyfriend because he's so amazing and so attractive. I've never ever let that affect anything though. And this is truly the best and most healthy relationship I've ever been in, and we never ever have conflict. I apologized and said I didn't mean to project, and I asked him what he meant by that. He said that it's obvious that my insecurity about my body is having a bad effect on me, and is making me jealous of girls with better bodies. He then proceeded to unlock his phone and go to Lucy's Instagram and scroll through, showing me all the photos of her in various bikinis and cosplays, etc., while asking me if I felt jealous. Oh, God. I can feel my skin actively trying to crawl away from me. At this point, I started to cry, and I'm still embarrassed by that. I wasn't crying out of jealousy, I just couldn't understand what was going on, and I was so embarrassed. My boyfriend didn't get angry or anything. He just hugged me and said, "See, you're too insecure." Then he... Fuck! From here, no more interjections, but good God. Then he began talking about how I should get a boob job. He's mentioned this several times over the past few days since I asked him if he found my breast size attractive, and he said no. I told him I don't want surgery. He knows this, but he said it's the only way I'm going to stop being insecure, and that I'm just going to resent other women if I don't change. he started showing me photos of women who had gotten breast implants and saying stuff like, "Look how happy she is." And look, this girl's even bigger than Lucy. But I just felt miserable. I still do. Of all the things to say to me, why this? Why show me this shit when I've said I don't want surgery? He wasn't being mean, but that shit really still stings. I told him that I'm really not projecting onto Lucy at all, and that I didn't care about her breast size. And I told him that I only mentioned his lock screen because he always complains when mine isn't a photo of him/us. I was pretty distressed at this point. He wasn't really responding, just sort of looking at me. It was frustrating. Then I asked why he went to her birthday instead of mine. I was pretty worked up at this point, so I just sort of blurted it out. His response baffled me so much that I stopped crying because I was so confused. I'm still confused. He said that he didn't go to her party and that he went to mine. Literally, all I could say was, "What?" And he said that he wouldn't have done that and that I was just remembering wrong. I am not remembering wrong. I am remembering it perfectly, and I remember us even talking on the phone that night. We've had conversations about him going to her party. I know some of the people he went with. It literally happened, but he said it didn't, while being completely calm and sincere. He said I must have been too drunk to remember the night properly. But that's ridiculous, and it's not remotely true. He kept saying, "Don't you remember?" Then telling me things that literally didn't happen that night. But he was so sure, and now I'm doubting myself so much. My birthday was very recently as well, so I don't know why I'm struggling to remember. I'm just so confused. He was so certain. He's not a liar, and he's never lied to me about anything before, but also, it's just such a bizarre thing to lie about. He was dead serious, though. It was so weird. He changed the subject back to my breast size, and I just walked out to the bathroom because I needed a breather. When I came back, he was watching Doom Patrol and acting as if nothing happened. I got into bed and tried to sleep. This morning, he was gone when I woke up, and we've spoken a lot less today because I don't know what to say to him. I feel so confused and everything is just so bizarre right now. I don't understand what happened, and I feel like I'm being crazy. I don't know what to do. I rang him a few hours ago and, apologized for everything, and he reassured me and said that we'll sort out my body so I can stop being so paranoid. I wanted to ask about the birthday thing again because it was just so weird, but I didn't know what to say, so I left it alone. Am I just being paranoid? What should I do? I feel like I can't trust my own thoughts right now, and I'm just so fucking lost. I don't want to lose him. Edit, the reaction to this has really blown me away. I'm reading as many of the comments as I can, and I am taking all of your words on board. Thank you to each and every person who has taken the time to give me advice, and sorry if I haven't replied. There's a lot for me to deal with right now, and I'm very emotionally exhausted. I'd also like it if people could stop calling me an idiot, stupid, etc. You don't know what it's like to not be able to trust your own thoughts and feelings due to the behavior of a master manipulator. I fucking knew some comments would end up popping up like that. See, that's the issue with people who pull this kind of stuff, is they worm their way in their head and they say it with so much confidence where it just echoes and your brain rewrites itself. If they're this calm about the events that happened and I'm this worked up and paranoid, maybe I am the one who's in the wrong. It's how they operate. It's how they keep you by their side. And the worst part is the comments that are calling OP an idiot, or the comments that are being rude or aggressive, or the "you're an asshole to yourself" comments. All those do is just reinforce the fact of, you're right, I am an asshole. Maybe they're right too. It's a destructive way of approaching it. It doesn't actually help. This person is living inside of a world created by their abuser's making. The information they're fed is handcrafted and bespoke to keep them by their side. You're not mad at me for being interested in other women, you're just insecure. The problem here isn't that I don't find parts of your body attractive. The problem is that you're insecure about Lucy. But we can fix that. We can even get you ones that are bigger than Lucy's. Meet me in the middle, says the untrustworthy man. You step forward, he steps back. Meet me in the middle, says the untrustworthy man. Final update, April 23rd, 2019, 3 days after the last post. My 21 female boyfriend, 22 male, tried to gaslight me into getting plastic surgery. This is going to be the last post I make about this situation. I want to put the whole thing behind me and focus on moving forward now. But my last post got a lot of responses, so I felt as though I needed to say at least something on the matter. A lot of you have been greatly helpful to me in this time, and I appreciate that more than I can say. To those of you calling me an idiot or saying I was making excuses for him, I wasn't. Evidently, I knew his actions were wrong, otherwise I wouldn't have made this post to begin with. I clarified that he was usually very nice to me because he was. He's helped me through panic attacks, paid for a lot of my food when I've had no money, defended me against a previous abuser, and always been very attentive prior to recent incidents. Of course, I knew that his actions in my post were wrong. I was trying to stress that he's not normally like this, and he was not aggressive with me. This is a man that I felt safe with because he had given me all the reasons in the world to feel safe with him. He protected me from a lot and literally came to my aid at 3 a.m. once when I was alone and distraught on some random beach. Of course, he had my complete trust. Anyway, following my last post, I basically avoided him and confided in some of my IRL friends about it. In doing so, one of them, let's call her Daisy, brought me to the realization that I was never that insecure about my body, and that my boyfriend had simply been making me feel that way. It sort of feels like a weight has been lifted in that regard, but the realization made me so angry. I rarely get angry, but talking to everyone and reading everything and learning more about gaslighting made me so pissed. Then there was the icing on the cake. 2 of my friends confirmed that he did indeed go to Lucy's party. No shit, but Lucy hadn't actually wanted him there. She's apparently very aware of his obsession with her and isn't entirely comfortable with it. Great! I guess I'm not fucking blind. That really was the final straw for me. So, last night when I saw him, I asked him again about the party. Again. And whether he went to mine or Lucy's. Again, he said mine. I told him that I'm not an idiot and that our friends could all confirm his whereabouts. He seemed bothered that I had been talking to people about the situation, and he started with the whole, "Your jealousy is really getting bad" shit. And at that point, I lost my temper. I told him that I wasn't jealous. I was just trying to understand why he was lying to me about something so dumb. It wasn't even a good lie. We had a pretty rough argument, and I brought up his constant comments about surgery, and as we argued, little things started dawning on me about other stuff he had previously done. I cried a lot. He kept trying to be calm, but it didn't always work. But yeah, I'll spare the gory details. I did try to break up with him, but I don't think it's sunk in. As far as I'm concerned, we're over. But he doesn't seem to really get it yet. I'm sure he will soon. I blocked him on everything, and I'm going to keep my distance. But we have a lot of the same friends, so fully cutting him out isn't going to be as easy as I would like. I'm done with this, though. He dominated so much of my life, and I'm still doubting myself so much about everything. But I have a lot of good friends helping me. Apparently, he was weird about Lucy, even when he was with his ex. So, I think I might talk to her about the situation. I want to keep moving forward. I need to get past this fucking fog in my brain that he put there. When we met, he told me he'd lost a sibling in a car crash, yet no one ever spoke about it. And I thought that was strange. At the time, I thought it was due to grief, but now I think no one spoke about it because it didn't fucking happen. I had so much faith in this man for a long time. He really was my best friend. I already miss him and it fucking sucks, but frankly, I've overcome worse. I'll be fine. Thank you for your support. All the messages were very overwhelming, but I read every single one of them, and they did help. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Just want to put the obvious out there. He was 100% messaging girls on Instagram. He was 100% doing shady shit on his phone. And this guy is just bottom barrel scum. It's this kind of abuse that when you're reading about it, it's like, yeah, obviously this is fucked up. But when you're experiencing it, it does drill and claw at your brain in ways that don't make sense. It's so obvious when you write things down, but it still itches and worms its way in and makes you doubt yourself in ways that are difficult to describe because, as OP actually put it, there are so many other reasons why you should have faith in this person. So these weird worming thoughts, these weird instances of the mask shattering, surely it has to be me imagining the mask falling. And it's just a fluke, right? Because I know what kind of person he is, right? I wouldn't have attached to a monster like this. Right? And he's getting mad at her for talking to other people because his narrative is shattering. He's the type of person that enjoys the control. I guarantee he triangulates. He tells his girlfriend one thing while telling other people another thing. But they're both congruent in a sense where if they have a discussion on a surface level, it'll be compatible. But if they dig deeper, well, no, not at all. The cracks begin to show. So he's going to be orbiting. He's going to be making sure that he has eyes on every conversation, that he has ears in every conversation. His version of events are law. And if you doubt them, well, no, you're wrong. See, it's not the fact that this happened the way you think it is, it's actually your jealousy or some other bullshit reason getting in the way of it and clouding your judgment, obviously. It's not that I'm wrong, it's that you're misremembering. It's that you're insecure. And see, we wouldn't have to worry about these insecurities if you just got a boob job. And the thing is, with a lot of these, it does take time for these colors to show, for the mask to slip. There's a facade for the first few years where everything is perfect. They're the dream partner. Everything is just right. It's a healthy relationship. No, it's the healthiest relationship. But because you have those thoughts, you don't realize the cracks. Like, it's such a healthy relationship and such a positive one that he won't take an hour out of his day, 2 hours out of his day, to travel to see you on your birthday. I've talked about the proverbial rug several times, but these are examples of that. These are examples of sweeping things under the rug because, well, the rug just looks so nice and everything else is great, so I'll just add a little bit more dirt under it. It's fine. Nothing's too bad. Eventually, that rug gets lumpy. Thank God OP got away from that because I've been and dealt with parallels that are similar to this. And it chews at you in a way that breaks you down as a person. And it's isolating. Because when you look at it, yeah, fuck, this is so obvious. How did I not see this? And everyone around you is, yeah, dude, it's obvious. How did you not see that? How did you let that happen to you? I didn't know. I couldn't see it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Siliney. Posted to r/Am I the Asshole, March 18th, 2026. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker she also has thin hair? I, 25 female, work at a very small startup company. By very small, I mean there are only 5 employees in total, including me. Because of the small size, getting along with my coworkers has been easy. We've all grown really close since we see each other every day, and we even go out to bars together after work. Now, for the story. Late last week, I wore my hair in 2 braids to work. I wanted to try a new style and felt really cute with them. When I arrived, my coworker, Annie, 27 female and fake name, looked at me and said, "Wow, I never realized how thin your hair is." When she said that comment, I wasn't hurt or offended. I've always had thin hair. It's just how I was born. I replied back smiling, saying, "Yeah, you too. Twins." Her reaction after I made the comment completely took me by surprise and shocked me, because she immediately said, "Go to hell." I was confused because Annie also has thin hair. She then proceeded to ignore me for the rest of her shift. Fast forward to today, Annie still has been completely avoiding me and seems to be trying to get the rest of the office to turn against me. Because we're such a small team, my coworkers have been filling me in on what she's saying about me behind my back. I even learned that once our boss returns from vacation, she plans to report me for workplace bullying. My coworkers aren't into taking sides, and I'm not asking them to because this issue is between Annie and me. However, one of them approached me today advising me to apologize. But I'm not sure if I should. I don't feel bad for anything I did, so that's why I turned to this forum to see if I'm the asshole. I'm looking for advice on whether I should apologize or if there's a better way to handle this. Also, for people wanting an update, my boss doesn't come back until Friday. If a meeting does happen, I will share. Thanks for the advice, I really appreciate it. I put a small update in the comments. To answer frequently asked questions, have you tried speaking to Annie? Yes, I have tried speaking to Annie one-on-one again to discuss the issue, but she has turned me down 5 times. She has told me she doesn't feel comfortable talking to me without our boss present. Did you try to contact your boss? Yes, I did contact my boss. We are a small company, so he is our HR, CEO, etc. I told him about the situation once I found out she was going to report me for workplace bullying. I only sent the one text message on Microsoft Teams. He told us in the case of emergencies to use his personal number, but to me, this situation doesn't classify as an emergency and can be handled when he gets back. I know he's on vacation, and bothering him multiple times while he's away isn't something I want to do. Do you have thin or fine hair? Yes, I do have thin hair. I don't know about fine hair. I have been told by a hairstylist that I have thin hair. I don't have much hair on my head, but like I said, it's something I have always had. My entire mom's side of the family has it too. I always found the beauty in it because it reminds me of grandma. Smiley face. Verdict, not the asshole. Mini update in the comments, March 20th, 2026, 2 days later. Hello, commenters. I am writing this in the comments because I don't want to go over the character count. First off, thank you for all the advice. I'm still learning to grow a backbone, even at the age of 25, but after reading all the support, it really has given me confidence. An update for today, Friday morning. I have been scheduled for a meeting with Annie and my boss at 1:30 p.m., and I am not allowed to discuss the matter further until then. Wish me luck! I wrote down everything and kept documents, so I feel prepared for it. Even if things don't go in my favor, I will be okay. I have always been a glass half full kind of gal. I'll make an update post at the end of the day, hopefully. Update, March 25th, 2026, 5 days after the last update. Hello everyone, thank you all for your patience. After work on Friday, my boyfriend took me out for the weekend. He knew the whole thing has been really stressing me out. Anyways, I'm finally back home and have my laptop, so here is the update. Last Friday, my boss called Annie and me into his office for a meeting. I came prepared with documents. It consisted of 2 emails showing I had tried 5 times to resolve things with her, a document that had our full interaction typed out word for word, and a coworker's statement saying Annie had been avoiding me, not doing some work tasks because of me, leaving work early 3 times to avoid closing with me, and speaking negatively about me. At the meeting, my boss let Annie speak first. She claimed she tried to start a friendly conversation about hair. I then made a random rude comment about her hair thinning, which angered her. Annie then said her comment, "go to hell," was out of anger and didn't mean it. When it was my turn, I showed my boss the document that outlined Annie and I's entire conversation from that day. I turned to Annie and explained I meant no harm and it was a misunderstanding. My boss slid the document to Annie after reading it. As Annie read it, she got emotional and started crying. She explained she's very insecure about her hair due to bleach damage and wears extensions to help make her hair appear fuller, but hasn't worn them the past month because she can't keep them up. Annie then stepped out to the bathroom to fix herself. During her time away, I showed my boss the rest of the documents. When she returned, he asked why she ignored my attempts to resolve things, and she said she wasn't comfortable being alone with me. He then brought up the coworker's statement and showed her the document. Annie read it and denied most of it, explaining how she always does her work. She said she couldn't really remember not doing her work because she always does it. My boss ended the meeting by saying workplace conflict like this shouldn't escalate, especially over something personal. He gave Annie a written warning for not completing work, speaking poorly about a coworker to others, and leaving early multiple times. My boss gave her the choice of leaving early, and she left. Afterward, my boss asked me to stay so he can speak to me. He explained he had been considering me for a leadership role, but now has doubts because I didn't resolve the issue. I explained to him I tried. He wasn't having it and told me he already knows everything about the situation. At the end, he clarified I wouldn't be punished and said he's being hard on me because he sees leadership potential. He then offered to let me leave early, and I went home. I called my boyfriend when I got to the car. After explaining how it went, he surprised me with a weekend getaway to San Diego. On Friday, we were in La Jolla at the beach, and on Saturday, we went to the Savannah Bananas game at the Petco Park. Thank you, everyone, for the support, advice, and being here with me on my Reddit journey. Have a good day. Today, March 25th, I got very impatient on waiting for approval from the mods, so I decided just to post my update to my profile. Sometimes startup culture can really just get under my damn skin. Like, seriously, that whole line about, well, I saw you as leadership potential, but you failed to resolve this situation. I couldn't resolve it because she wouldn't talk to me until you got back. She kept avoiding me. She was leaving work to go home early. What was I supposed to do? Harass her? Coerce her? Lock her in a room with me? What did you want me to do? What a bullshit thing to say, honestly. Annie was being a workplace bully and she threw the first stone and then got it swung right back at her. She picked on someone for an insecurity that she has, opted to throw stones in a glass house and learned the hard way. Then she made herself out to the victim, then began talking shit about her coworkers to other coworkers, trying to rally them against her, and then during the whole bullying report conveniently left out the fact that she made the comment first. And then when OP did try to resolve things, she just decided to be as avoidant as possible, and management has the gall to blame OP for that. Are you serious? This is actually why, down the line, a lot of startup companies and indie companies and, that kind of start with just a few people in their garage or basement end up actually hiring career bureaucrats and CEOs and whatnot to start taking the place in the upper corporate ladder because they just don't have the experience to deal with this kind of stuff. And it begins to really show. So as I was wrapping this up, I probably got the dumbest ad sponsor request email I think I've ever received. And just with the nature of this, because I have that little business inquiry email that honestly is just used for spam mail at this point in time because I get around 30 to 40 sponsorship requests every day. And let me tell you why. I only stick with GamerSupps to actually use that product. If I actually went with every sponsor email, I would be rolling in it. But you guys would be hearing ad reads from companies that I don't give a shit about, that I'm just taking their money and calling it good and forcing a product onto you guys. But this company, they're like, oh, I've been following your channel for quite a while, and we think you'd be a great fit for our masculinity supplement. And then in their email followed up by proudly announcing they work with creators who despise my very existence for who I am. It's just you didn't look into me at all, did ya? My Twitter profile picture is a twink in a dog collar. You think I'm the one to rep masculinity products? Get real! But yeah, that's literally what I told them, by the way. This post was collected by Comfortable Owl 5938, and they have yet to get a tagline. The original OP is Doggo Lover 1203, posted to r/mytheasshole January 11th, 2023. Am I the asshole for choosing my dog over my family by refusing to accommodate my girlfriend's brother? I, 23 male, live with my girlfriend Anne, 22 female, and my dog Bo. Recently, Anne's brother Al, 25 male, got laid off from work and couldn't afford to pay rent anymore. Anne asked if Al could stay with us, and I didn't see why not. Anne isn't on speaking terms with her parents, and I assumed Al probably also wasn't, and didn't have another place to go. Plus, I also really loved Anne, and I wanted to show her how important she was to me. Here's the issue. Anne told me Al had a mild dog allergy. When I initially spoke with both of them, I said I would do my best to accommodate, but would not, under any circumstances, get rid of Bo. Both understood, and Al said his allergy wasn't too bad. Al moved in, and to be honest, he wasn't a great roommate. He didn't seem to be in a hurry to move out, as he spent most of his time sleeping and playing video games instead of looking for work. He didn't pitch in for chores and let laundry pile up in his room. Then, acted confused when I told him he had to do his own laundry. He ate the food we cooked but did not help with cooking or buying groceries. Worst, he ordered lots of fast food for himself and left wrappers, bags, and old food in his room, which made the whole apartment smell. After a month or so, Al said his allergies were getting worse and asked me to consider putting Bo in a shelter. I said absolutely not, but Anne said we should consider getting rid of Bo to accommodate her brother's needs. I said no, and we would not be discussing this further. She called me the asshole for choosing my dog over family. That's when I snapped. I said Al is not family, and he has been nothing but a hassle for the past month, and that if she wants to babysit her older brother, she can find her own place. She has no legal right to stay here because my name is on the lease and I pay rent. Anne is in grad school and does not make enough money to afford a decent apartment on her own. She tried again to convince me that I should prioritize Al over Bo. So I gave her an ultimatum. Either Al is gone in 24 hours or I kick both of them out. Bo stays no matter what. Both have since moved out, and while Anne and I are not officially broken up, I haven't heard from her in a few days. I know this may sound harsh, but Bo is my family. He has been with me through some of my hardest times and he is a rescue, which means he was already abandoned once, and I will not let that happen again. I feel nothing for Al, and while I thought I loved Anne, her willingness to get rid of someone I love as much as her made my feelings change. When I explained this to my parents and sister, however, they said I should have at least considered getting rid of Bo to accommodate Al, and that they could even take care of Bo themselves so he didn't have to go to a shelter. They said if I saw Anne as family, which I did at one point, I should be able to make sacrifices. But that was a sacrifice I wasn't willing to make. Does that make me an asshole? OP was voted not the asshole. Update on the same post. Update. Holy shit, I wasn't expecting this. Thanks for all the support. A lot has happened in the past couple of days, and I want to share that with you. First, I officially broke up with Anne. My parents have since apologized to me. Apparently, they didn't realize the extent of my living situation with Anne and Al and thought I would only be getting rid of Bo for a few weeks. They even gave me money for changing my locks and installing a fancy security system. Lastly, this whole experience made me think there are many dogs out there who have been cast aside for reasons similar to this. So, not only am I keeping Bo, but I'm planning on adopting a second dog from a local shelter. My next girlfriend will be told up front that I am a dog over significant other kind of guy. If I told my roommate they had to do their own laundry and they gave me the look of, what? What do you mean I have to do my own laundry? We wouldn't be roommates for much longer. You're telling me that you fully expected to just live here and I would do your laundry for you? You're 25. You're a grown-ass man. Do it yourself, good God. And the thing is, if OP caved on getting rid of Bo, which thank God he stood his ground, what's next? Like Anne was just letting Al walk all over them. Get rid of your dog, do his laundry. Keep cooking for him, keep cleaning for him. He doesn't contribute to the chores, doesn't contribute to the rent, doesn't contribute to the bills, doesn't do anything except play video games all day, but it's our responsibility to make sure Al is happy, so get rid of your dog. Like, no. Fuck that. It might just be me and my hesitation surrounding it, but anyone who uses the "but they're family" argument as a way to excuse piss-poor behavior is just, that's a red flag on its own. Let alone what they're using that excuse for. And if they're willing to use that for getting rid of your dog, your pet, a member of your family, your best friend, your homeboy, your rotten soldier, what else would they be willing to use that excuse for? Because if they're already jumping out the gate to use it for that, yeah, what else? Also, it's nice seeing an example of an ultimatum that isn't just completely off the walls bonkers and actually makes sense and is reasonable. Got some outro announcements, but of course, gamer subs, use code OURS at checkout. It actually seems that me just kind of talking about it in the outro naturally has led to you guys being more interested in it as a product than just the repeating outros, so that's been really cool. Now that I can actually have citrusy drinks again, today I am drinking Bowberry. It's blueberry, but by the VTuber Bow. It's very purple. Now, I got 3 things that I want to quickly discuss here. One, in regards to yesterday's outro, I just wanted to send my thanks for everyone's support and just all the comments that I saw in favor of me continuing doing what I'm doing. And of course, that includes that I'm going to, of course, own up to when I fuck up and have a bad tangent, but I'm also not going to let the squeaky wheel comments that are the most aggro and aggressive get the better of me, or at least do my best to. In addition, I'll see what I can do about reviving community comments, or just simply having a stream where we can discuss stories or takes that I've had that, might need a secondary visit. That way you guys, as the community, can help either educate me or I can better explain the takes that I have and, at least help people understand where I'm coming from. The next announcement is that I will hopefully be doing an April 1st stream with Damian Lee from MK today. That'll either be hosted on this channel or on the Oz Gaming channel. Still figuring that out. I will have that pinned in the comments so that way you guys will be able to find it. It really comes down to if we're doing live Reddit readings as an April Fool's event or if we're going to be doing games. We're not 100% sure, but you guys will know depending on where the stream occurs. And the final announcement is that today I will hopefully be taking Consequences public. So if you guys want to submit your own stories or even cross-post from other stories that you think, oh, this has consequences, I want Oz's opinion on this one and it fits Consequences. Here, have this in your trash hole. So for those of you who are familiar with Reddit, you guys will be able to submit your own stories or even submit stories from other subreddits that you feel would be interesting and fitting of Consequences. Woo! Also, I am 90% sure I caught influenza and that's why the sickness was so debilitating. So that was fun. Anyways, I'm feeling mostly better. Still got a runny nose, still got the sniffles, and still got a cough, but nothing that's actively making my life hell. Anyways, I'll catch you guys around either tomorrow or at the stream today. Huh? Yeah! I hope to God when I do the audio filter to cut out all the dead air and stuff, it doesn't kill the snaps in the background that I'm doing.